Hello everyone and welcome to this new ICN Library video devoted today on what is a bibliography, why we need one, and how to create and integrate one. So this video today will cover basic APA norm rules intended for students at ICN. So first of all, what is a bibliography? So if we refer to the definition given by the Oxford Dictionary, it is a list of books or articles about a particular subject or by a particular author, the list of books that have been used by somebody writing an article. So this definition states that a reference contains a certain number of important information, which gives us the ID card of a reference, which means that it will always contain the same type of information, and when a reference does not have just any of those information or elements, it is considered incomplete. When you write a master's thesis, for instance, or an essay, a bibliography is a list which contains all the documents listed as references. They also are called bibliographic records, and you've mobilized them in your thesis or essay. So they have to be cited in both the text at the beginning of your document, so in the body of your document, and they also have to be found at the bottom of your document. They will follow a chosen or mandatory norm. So here we'll focus on the APA norm that we recommend using at ICN. So what is it and what does it look like? So the APA norm stands for the American Psychological Association norm, and they've released in 2020 their 7th edition. So it also comes in the form of a book, and with that reference, you can also find it at the library, by the way. So that norm tells you exactly how to write a specific reference considering all types of documents, because if you wanted to cite a journal article, but also a video taken from a website and a report, you could, because the good news is, of course, you can cite anything, any documents or media with APA. So when citing a document, you need two elements. At the beginning of your document, in a paragraph such as this one, you have a reference that is in short format, which contains the family name of the author, separated by a comma, then the year in which this article was published, or book, a comma, and then since you're making a direct citation, here, you need to also add the page from which that citation was taken, and you also close it in parentheses. Here you've got a second reference, still using that short style format. You've got the first, a name here, then the family name of the first author, and an and, which separates the second name of the author because this reference was written, with two authors, and you need to state both their names. And then a comma and the year in which the article was published. If you now look at the bottom of your document, you have the extended form of that same citation, which contains all the information that are needed to form a reference. So here you've got the family name of the first author, one of his or her initials, the second initials, a comma, an and then the family name of the second author, a comma, one of their initials, second initial, and the year in which that article was published. Then you've got the title, you've got the journal's name, and you've got some information on the volume number as well as issue and the pages. And here is a second example, still from an article. But we'll cover that now. So here, you've got the abstract that we've seen. So you've seen that reference, so that from that author Wood and those authors Morrison and Robinson. So when you've got that, that is the body of your document I was talking about, and you need to have the reference in short format. But when you scroll down to the end of your document, if you want to find the full record of that citation, you need to look at alphabetical order, because all references are always listed in alphabetical order. At least in APA it is the case. You need to spot the letter M, and you will find at the letter M the full record of your citation. Same for Wood. Scroll down until you find that citation. And you've got the full extended version of the citation, which contains all information needed to process that reference. So when your reader will need to have more info on that short form citation, he or she will go down to that list at the bottom of your document to see the full record. So here, like we said, you could cite any kind of document. So we've got an example from a book, a journal article, and a website. So the way that slide works is that I've put the basic elements of a reference, and here I've got a specific example with real names and actually real works of research. So here you've got the family name of the author, their initial, the date in which that book was published. You've got the title of the book, which is always displayed in italic, which actually tells us that it's a book. Then you've got some additional information on the location of the publisher, the country, and the publisher itself. In a journal article, you need to have those elements like we covered. What's important to note is that the name of the journal is always in italic, as well as the number of the volume, so volume number, followed by the issue. So pay attention to that to tell you which information is the volume number, which is the issue number, because you need both. Remember that the volume number is always in italic, and the pages. In a website, it's a slightly different way of referencing, because since we're dealing with an article, we will need to have the precise stamp on which date the article was published, the year, but also the month, as well as the day. Because when you're dealing with a press article, you need to have very recent, very fresh information, and we need to know the specific date on which that article was published. So, same as before, here, the title of the page and the website. And you need to also tell your reader on what day you've accessed that resource. So you will put the date, the full date here. Because if you submit something today and in 2 years' time you've got someone who looks at it, and that person will need to know that this resource was available at that time. Because if it's not the case anymore, at least he or she or they will know that it was accessible 2 years ago. And also, don't forget to put the URL, which is basically the internet address of that website that you're referencing. Finally, some tips and tricks. There are several bibliographic norms. You need to choose one that you like and stick to it until the end of your documents, because if you start mixing different norms, it will simply be hectic for your reader and you as well to navigate that paper. If you like using footnotes, which is not something that the APA norm recommends, you can use the Chicago style, as well as that style here, Oscola, which was basically created in Oxford to reference legal documents, and also use the ACS style. So learn to identify the different elements in a bibliographic reference by just simply looking at some and getting used to the way they are built in each type of citation format and style. Learn the differences between a source, a database, and a search engine or a tool. So spot, what information is available and where, so then you will know how to cite it. Finally, a few words on Zotero, which is a bibliographic referencing software that works on just any machine. It saves your readings, automatically generates your references list based on the norm of your choice. So that's why it's important to use one and choose one. And Zotero will automatically generate your in-text citations. So that's the citations at the beginning of your document in the body of your text in short formats, as we've covered. And it will order those references alphabetically at the end of your document. If you need more information or a little bit of a refresh on what Zotero is, how to use it, and what it does, on the Knowledge Hub under the Help menu and videos and tutorials, you will find a full APA norm guide with examples, as we've covered today, but also a series of free videos which tells you step by step how to install and how to use Zotero, and those videos are also available as a PDF document. So thank you very much for your attention. Would you have any questions? Feel free to write to us at documentation@icn-autumn.com. And happy citing!